Hi marketers, welcome back. Today we're taking a look in more detail at return on investment. This is a super important and also kind of fun topic to go through. This one can seem kind of daunting for some people because of the fact that there's some math involved, but to be honest, it's not that challenging. We're going to go through and take a look at some examples to help you feel more comfortable with the different ways you can go through and calculate return on investment. ROI is super important for marketers because it basically gives you the ability to go through and justify your existence. If you can show to a CEO or an accountant or a finance person that you actually bring in real profit for a company, you will always be able to have them find money for your particular budget. So let's dive in and take a look. At a really basic level, return on investment really just relates return or profit that you get for something divided by the particular investment you make in it. When we go through and talk about it in a marketing context, what we refer to here is return on marketing investment, or ROMI. What this refers to is the additional profit you make by any change in your particular marketing costs. So if you were to go through and spend more money on advertising, the big question is, what are the additional profits you'd get from that extra increase you'd spend on marketing? That would be the ROMI or ROMI on that particular marketing spend. When you go through and calculate the cost of your marketing spend, you want to be including all of the different costs involved in marketing. This can include stuff like your ad spend, obviously, as well as any costs related to things like influencers, costs involved in making your ads, your time and effort as well, or anyone else who's part of your team. All of the different costs that are involved in marketing are things you might want to consider including on this denominator in terms of the additional marketing costs. The additional profit is just going to be all the extra profit that comes in as a result of your marketing efforts. Let's take a look at an example. Let's imagine that a restaurant goes through and spends $500 on extra advertising. As a result, they get $500 in extra sales. What does that mean in terms of ROMI? Many people would go and take this $500 that they're getting and put that down as their extra profit, and then divide that by the extra marketing spend they've made, in this case $500. This would be a ROMI of 100%, meaning an additional dollar spent in advertising brings in an extra dollar of profit. What do you think? Is this correct? Well, if your intuition says no, you're right. This is actually incorrect. And what exactly is not making this right? Well, they're going through and they're counting all of that revenue as profit. Whereas in reality, a lot of that money that people are spending on food is going to be part of their costs, going to make the food and going to the servers and people working in that particular restaurant. So what we want to do is go in and basically use only the margin on that particular revenue to calculate what the profit is that's coming in as a result of this particular ad spend. So the key question to be asking here is, what amount of profit are you getting from going through and actually doing this marketing spend? Not just revenue, but extra profit. So if we imagine that restaurant has a margin of say 20%, we can take that extra revenue they're getting and multiply it by 20% to get what the real profit is. So here, taking a look at this, we can go through and we can basically adjust this $500 by multiplying it by 0.2, 20%, to get $100 what their actual profit is on that extra spend. So here we can see they're spending $500 in advertising and they're getting back $100 in additional profit. So a 20% return on their marketing investment. This means in this case, they're spending $1 to make 20 cents back. That's not really a good return on their investment. And they probably want to think about what they're doing with their advertising and try to improve it and make it more effective. We just went through and calculated ROMI for one particular ad, but you can also go through and calculate it at a very broad level and just take a look at what is the return on marketing investment across all of your marketing spend. The way to do this is to take the same formula and simply take all of your marketing costs and put those in the bottom, and then take all of the profit you can attribute back to your marketing and use that on top. So all of your sales times whatever margin you have for your particular business. If you're not quite sure of this, talk to the owner or try to estimate this based on your costs. While it's relatively easy to calculate margins, or at least estimate them, it's more challenging sometimes to go through and actually track sales directly back to your marketing. There's a couple different things you can think about doing to try to be able to calculate these sales. One is, if you're going through and using a pixel, then you for sure know which ads lead to sales. In some cases, you may not know exactly how much each sale is. What you can do then is go through and use the average order size or average basket size as a way to estimate how much all of those sales are that came from your ads. Another trick is to go through and use unique coupon codes. This makes it really easy to track back sales to your particular ads. What this means is you run an ad with a unique coupon code that's only used on social media in that particular post. It's then really clear if you see sales that people saw that ad and went through and actually bought something. This is a great strategy to use if you don't have a pixel installed. Another strategy is to actually track the sales of a certain item that you're featuring in your social media ads. If you, for instance, are highlighting a certain type of t-shirt on your social media ads on this day, you can probably relate any spike in sales on that particular day or two back to that particular ad. In some cases, you can also go through and actually create a secret menu item, for instance, or other secret items that are only pushed on your social media ads. And that way it's really clear if there's any sales or people coming in asking for that particular secret menu item, that they were attributed back to your particular ads. Another strategy is to go through and basically look at how many leads you're getting, and you can estimate the value of a lead. An easy way of doing this is to go through and take a look at how many leads result in a particular sale. Right, so if you're looking at car sales, for instance, they might know that every 20 people who walk in are likely to buy a car. So you can take the profit of buying a car and divide it out among those 20 leads, and that's really how much each lead is worth. Finally, if your ad merely just takes people to their website, you can also go through and assign a value to those clicks. You can take a look at historical data on their website and figure out how many people go to the website and then how many go through and convert. If it's 10%, then every click is going to be worth 10% of that particular sale. While it's really interesting to go through and take a look at calculating ROMI across all of your ad spend, it becomes really powerful as a tool to go through and compare the effectiveness of different ads that you're creating. So we can take this formula, ROMI for a single ad, and we can go through and calculate it for different ads we're creating and see how it differs among different ads.